In today's episode, I share a story about seasons of nature and how they correlate to the seasons of our life. Today is a really good episode, a little philosophical and packed with aha moments. Let's get started. Hello and welcome to Live Mindfully with Laurie Moore. You might be able to tell from my voice, but I haven't been well this past week. Whatever viral infection that has been going around has finally caught up to me, and if I'm honest, I've really struggled. I never do well when I'm sick. And I have had one of the busiest past months that I think that I've had since the kids have been born, and it's been great, but I'm not used to that pace maybe. I've interviewed guests for the podcast. We had the beautiful Sarah McGann on a couple of weeks ago, and I have some other very special guests coming up as well, and I've had a lot on work-wise, and the kids have had lots on too with birthday parties and some other stuff. And now normally I do my best to operate a little bit closer to the seasons of nature. And when my kids were little, maybe that was easier because in winter, they would usually catch just about everything that was floating around. So I was forced to slow down maybe more. But this has been the first winter where we haven't really had any sickness. And so I felt really inclined to push more than I would. And now, of course, I'm not surprised at all that I have come tumbling down. And that's really what I want to talk about this podcast. It won't be a long one, mainly because my voice won't hold out, but I want to tell you a story. And I have pulled this story from Arhanta's Yoga's blog, and it's a story about a king and his 4 sons. So a king had 4 sons, and to teach them an important lesson, he decided to ask them to visit a cherry tree in the deep forest of their kingdom. During the peak of winter, he asked his eldest son to go and see the tree and write a description of the tree. The prince came back and told that the tree is barren, old and hopeless. Not even birds are coming near the tree. It looks useless, and maybe it is better to cut it down and use the wood before it rots. During the middle of spring, the king asked his second son to visit the tree and write a description. The prince came back and told that the tree is not barren. Rather, it is full of beautiful cherry blossoms and looks young and promising. The tree is surrounded by butterflies and bees who are enjoying its flowers. Then in summer, the king sent his third son, and he came back. He told everybody that there were no blossoms. Rather, the tree was loaded with delicious cherries. It looked mature and valuable. Many birds are living on the tree and enjoying the fruits. Finally, in autumn, the king asked his youngest son to visit the tree and bring back a description. The prince returned and described that the tree now has no fruit or flowers, as his brothers had described, but it looks beautiful with its coloured leaves, with lovely shades of gold and red and orange. It looks like an ideal object for a painting. Then the wise king asked his sons, "What did you learn from this experience?" The other 3 princes were still thinking when the youngest shared his understanding. Like the tree, we experience different seasons of life, and we are greatly affected by them. We should not judge our life based on only the current season in our life. Every season has a purpose, and no matter whatever the current season is, it will change again. I really love the adaptability of this story about the 4 seasons. And I think as technology has advanced, we have moved away from seasonal living. And as a result of that, we have forgotten that we too experience seasons in our personal life. And in Ram's article, and the link is in the show notes, he likens the seasons of nature to the seasons of our personal life like this. Our season of winter is sadness, heartbreak, loneliness, and sickness. Our season of spring is hope, new beginnings, and opportunities. Our season of summer, signs of growth, need for protection, and abundance of distractions. And finally, the season of fall, successes and achievements, and failures. He says that when we experience a season of winter, it is time to rest, prepare, and learn. When we experience a season of spring, it is time to act, take risk, and grab opportunity. In our seasons of summer, it's time to nourish and protect. And in fall, it is time to reap success or failure. Ram says that fall is our moment of truth, brings the results of our efforts. He also says that if we have taken the right action in the other 3 seasons, then you will see the result far greater than your effort. So my contemplation today is for you to consider which season you are in, and then to take the appropriate action of that season. And perhaps during this contemplation, you may recognize that your action right now is not appropriate for the season that you are in. Celebrate your achievements and success. Accept your disappointments. Reflect on your actions to know where you can do better next time. We can't always change our seasons, but we can accept them. And we can choose more appropriate action for the season we are in. And remember, we should not judge our life based on our current season. Every season has a purpose, and every season will eventually change. Thank you so much for listening today. Please share the Live Mindfully podcast with your family and friends and across your social media. Until next week, take good care of yourself.